Welcome to the GameChanger00100 show. I'm your host, GameChanger, and this is going to be a quick one for several reasons. One, I got to get my hair cut today, and two, Fantastic is going to be on soon, and three, this is an impromptu. I really didn't plan on doing it. All right, so here's what we're talking about. I think the reason why Jessica X got so much pushback is because there is a loophole in this whole women should submit argument. It's a loophole, it's an escape clause, it's something that women say and they do far too often to get out of their obligation to submit. When you see these women who are single, let's just say at 45 or something like that, or they've been through 5 divorces or something like that, they can always turn back to the man wasn't worthy of submission. You see, what she said, and, intentions aside, I don't even think it was ill intent, and I don't think that it was meant to be used in this way. But far too many brothers actually had this used against them in this way, or they have seen others. This is a submission loophole. It's a way to get any woman to say, I'm submissive, but. And remember, everything before the word but is bullshit. I'm submissive, but I can't find a man worthy of my submission. I'm submissive, but ... See, that's always an escape clause from a woman's desire to submit. Now, you often see this amongst single women, and I think it was Sister George. She brought up a very good point. A lot of women don't really look for the right things, look for the right qualities to submit to. They're submitting to someone who they find physically attractive. Like, I'll submit to that jawline. I'll submit to, that particular person. I'll submit to that six pack, or I'll submit to that penis, all 9 inches of it. See, the problem is that initially puts the woman into a power position. And a woman who remains constantly single enjoys being in that power position. She enjoys sitting on a throne with a tiara, because remember, our women are queens. They're single queens. They enjoy sitting on the throne with the tiara, determining who's worthy of submitting. And ever the day shall come that they submit, they would have to get off their throne. You see, the throne is contingent on men vying for her submission. She, at that point, is in love with the process of men competing for her submission. However, that is a dominant position. Many single women who are physically capable of attracting the opposite sex, attracting a long-term mate, are addicted to this position. That puts them in a dominant state. Enjoying being in that dominant state sometimes, in fact, far too often, makes them incapable of submitting. So that's why it was so much pushback on that. It wasn't really, what was said, even though It was what was said, but it was how it was said so many times before. And it's actually good that brothers push back. Here, let me put the link out there because this is going to be a quick one. So it's not exactly what brothers said, or it's excuse me. It's a good thing that brothers had pushback for it because it means that we are seeing the signs. When women say that, they're generally saying that they're looking for reasons not to be submissive. Just throwing it out there. Now, that may not have been Jessica's intent, but brothers are hearing it. We're hearing it, and we know to be against it. Take Cynthia G, for example. She don't really want to openly submit, even though her desires tell her to submit. She's going to be constantly angry because she don't have someone to submit to. So the thing that she tells herself is that she is attracted to men that she deems to be beta men. So she wants to be in a relationship, but she don't want to submit. Now, why don't women like her want to submit? And this is off the original topic that we got from Bernard's thing. The reason why women like her don't want to submit is because they can't take their submission being rejected. When a woman submits, she does it with her entire self. When said submission is rejected, her entire self is being rejected. And that's why she's incapable of making anyone a proper mate because of that fear. But what she tells herself, and this is what far too many women tell herself, is the same thing that Jessica said, is that I am looking for a proper person to submit to. I'm paraphrasing, but, I am looking for, or, I haven't found a man that's worthy. I haven't found a man that is worthy of submission. Therefore, I am going to remain single forever. Which means that you're more comfortable being in the dominant position than submitting to a guy that you feel, or submitting to the most dominant guy available. Also, it's a matter of blame thing. It's a matter of refocusing the blame. I think that a lot of people, felt that in the comment as well. They felt that a woman cannot be not submissive, which is also a way that the loophole is used. Like, I can't be not submissive. You're not dominant. Therefore, if I don't deem you worthy of submission, it's because you're not dominant. It's not because I'm not submissive. It's also used as a shield in that manner. So we got to be careful of that as well. Truth, what's on your mind? You're muted.
I was just thinking about how you just dropped bombs on, you said a lot of times women are reluctant to submit because when they submit with their full self and it risks rejection. I was like, God, that was profound. That was some on point shit right there. I was just kind of thinking about that some more. That I've noticed that there's a large trend with that, where women are so insecure and fearful of rejection, which admittedly I can relate to. Any man who can remember being young remembers the stages of stumbling and getting over the fear of rejection. And they have the luxury of avoiding that if they want. They never have to get over that fear. But what I've noticed is, and I've actually commented this more so in long-term relationships, where because women fear rejection, they will cease to seduce their male. Like, they don't want to seduce him because if he rejects them, that means their seduction failed. So it's easier to just act like the fizzle went away or he's not into me anymore. It's like, well, you're old pussy. You're nothing new. and you're not exciting and you're not trying to excite him. And that makes you feel insecure. And so instead of trying to like man up, because that's what men do, and push through that and then risk rejection and submit him fully, like show him a seductive something, they'd rather pull back and say, whoa, that leaves me way too vulnerable. Having to risk that rejection means that he doesn't care about me because he should foresee my concerns with that. And so that means he doesn't want me and I don't want him now or whatever.
Right.
That fear of rejection is deep, deep, deep.
Yeah, it's far deeper in women than men because men are used to it. You know, we get it all the time unless you stuck with the person that you know, your first love, or you're a ridiculously successful dude, or you only accept women who make it brazenly clear that they're into you, you know. But most men have experienced rejection. The first time I hit on a chick, not only was I rejected, and this was like one that wasn't a sure thing. Of course, I had success prior to her when I was a teenager in junior high, but this was the first one that was I didn't know if she was interested. You know, I hadn't heard from such and such and such and such and such and such that she liked me. This was just cold. She may or may not want it. I just know I want her. And I got rejected. And in addition to that, her cousin made fun of me for the rest of high school. This was like freshman year. This was like the first one. And her cousin never let that shit go. Probably because I didn't hit on her. So, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, you get over it. But you see, that never happened to a woman. To most women, that never happened because they don't do the original approach. So they're not used to it. And even if they do, it can be, you know, they can always tell themselves something like, you know, which is what a lot of women do, especially Black women. That's what colorism is. It's what they tell themselves to cope with rejection. Oh, he's just not into dark-skinned girls or something like that, you know, or he just like white women. You know, it's just one of those things that it's a coping mechanism for rejection. That's very difficult for a woman to handle. However, when a woman is fully submitted and she still gets rejected, then that's just something that's not supposed to happen. Because basically, and from her point of view, she's offering you a $4 Mercedes and you're saying no. Like, what's the deal? You know, I mean, they can't handle that. I have an example of that I heard yesterday that I'll play for y'all. But before I do that, let me give MOT. MOT, what's on your mind, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man? With this particular topic, I think it's kind of, I mean, people, unfortunately, they have to put themselves in the woman's position or even think through her actual thought process. To her, within this society where she gets everything that she wants on a nearly 100% basis, it's world destroying that she don't get what she wants in a singular process. It doesn't even matter what the man thinks. It's just that it's all kind of about her. And she gets everything that she wants. And whenever it doesn't happen, this is why women, it drives women insane whenever they get rejected. Because if they had 10, 15 years of pure, you know, Tom Brady-ness, then all of a sudden they can't make the quote unquote playoffs. Yeah, man, they feel a certain type of way about that.
Yeah, facts. And it breaks down. And when it breaks down, so does she. Now, let me read this super chat right quick. L. Nixon says, let's see, add learned behavior, and the rate of Black women being sexually molested during childhood. And you have to understand the trust isn't really there to begin with. Yeah. I'm not certain about, okay, I'm not going to speak on the molestation thing. I will say that there's a latent, there's a trace amount of rejection that every Black woman feels. Or I shouldn't say every, but I should say most, particularly dark-skinned Black women feel. They seem to feel automatically rejected by Black men to start. And any future subsequent rejection is just confirmation bias. Like it's confirming the rejection that they already felt. Okay, I was going to do a separate video on this, but I'm gonna just touch on this now. Black women, your mama already rejected you. Your mama already rejected you, and you blamed us. And I'm gonna tell you how. When your mama, because the colorism stuff, it doesn't come from us. It comes from your mama. She's the one, stroking her neighbor's hair saying, oh, she's so pretty. She's the one who says you got bad hair. She's the one to say, get your black ass in that, out the sun. Not black men. Let's be clear. She's the one that compares you to your light-skinned cousin all the time. She instilled that into you. And when we come along, no matter how many times we tell us you're pretty, that is water under the bridge. However, when somebody says that you're ugly, you say, oh, colorism. It's like, wait a minute, didn't 100 guys just hit on you? So that's something that's kind of like already there. And you're right, it is a learned behavior, and that's where they learned it from. They learned it from their Southern mothers. And yeah, that's an obstacle that we have to get over, which means that, they already fear that confirmation. They already fear that, he doesn't want me. He'll leave me at any time for a light-skinned or exotical or a white woman. Therefore, if I fully submit, then that will be actualized. What I suspected will be actualized. He'll actually be leaving me at this point for a red bone or yellow bone or pink bone or whatever y'all call it. This will happen. So I do find that there is a reluctance to submit in that way, L. Nixon. Now, I want to, and this is a prime example. It's funny because I was going to cover this separately, but this is a prime example. Then we'll get to Jessica. Of what I was talking about, or what Truth and I, dang, I was about to call you Lonell. Are you related to him?
Who?
Yeah, you young. So there's an old school, brother, Lionel Richie.
Oh, Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Commodores. No, I'm not related to that.
All right. And I'm not the first person to say this, I'm sure.
No.
But
can I go first, GC? Because I gotta go. I'm in a dentist chair.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh shit.
No, I was gonna say, I think I worded something wrong on Bernard's because Jessica brought to my attention that I said I submit to everybody. What I meant was I submit to every man that I get, like every relationship, not like every person. I just wanted to clear that up.
Well, I think if you submit it to everybody, then the brothers in Jersey would have spoke on that by now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I, sometimes I write things wrong, and so I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay, it makes sense. I mean, you have 20,000 subscribers. You'd be real busy if you were submitting to all of them. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't want to say enjoy your dentist visit, but make the best of it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on mute. I'll stay up here. When I'm done, I'll talk.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye. So I guess since we goodbye. I guess since we did Melody. Hello. Go for it, Jessica. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
You can hear me. Okay.
Yeah.
My AirPods obviously aren't working on the StreamYards. No, but that's what I don't know if you saw it or you missed it, but.
You broke up. You said
Hello?
but yeah. Yeah, I'm here. Jessica, you might want to hop out and hop back in.
Hello?
Yeah, you might want to hop out and hop back in, Jessica.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So first I'm going to show you fellas a picture. All right. So what you see on the screen is a young lady who I will give my stamp of approval of fuckable. This is a woman that I deem effable. Now, the tattoo of her neck has someone's name in it, or maybe she covered it up with the existing tattoo. And that man left her, African man, left her because of the tattoo on her neck. that she got after 5 months of a relationship with him. Now, yeah, and I want to play the audio so y'all can get a sense of how women who feel that they have submitted deal with rejection.
Okay, I've been dating this guy for about 5 months. You know what I'm saying? I managed to come up on a little quarantine days, and I mean things been going.
That static is her.
Real good. I haven't talked to him, and I don't know what's going on. I let him know I had been going through some things in the past, and I had some trust issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, dinner or whatever, we was out, and I wanted to show him how much he meant to me. So, you know what I'm saying? I got a little ink. I got his name on my neck. You know, I really, you know what I'm saying? I really want him to know, you know what I'm saying? When you down for me, and you gotta really show it.
Fair use, by the way, people. Fair use.
This bitch is ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, you know, it's a symbol of my love. You know, I'm a very passionate woman, and, you know, it's just something that I was going to show him, like, I'm yours and you're mine forever. And
all right, so we heard what she had to say. Now they're calling him up to kind of talk to him alone. He doesn't know that.
Now, I want to point out something that she just said. She says, I'm yours and you're mine forever. No, you're just his. You're his property and he owns you. It's not like and you're mine forever. No, you're just his. So she's a little bit confused. I'm not gonna hold it against her, probably because she's affable, but you know, but yet and still, there seems to be some miscommunication on how this submission thing works. So here, let me put the fair use banner up. Fair use, people. Fair use. All right. Let me continue.
That she's on the phone listening. So he's being really honest here about the situation. So listen to what he had to say.
I'm currently not dating anymore. I make a good deal on quarantine and that I've been dating the continent and stuff like that. We've got to show me something that our worlds will not be able to really just connect like I would like it to. So I just had to be a bit around and stuff away. But I can tell you, we've been together for maybe like the last 5 months of quarantine, and the sister told me that she did not have a PhD.
Now, I want to point out that he doesn't know that she's on the phone. So when asked, are you in a relationship, he mentioned her and only her. So he was being faithful.
The brother has broken her heart. Her heart is broken, and she has trust issues and things like that. And I was like, you know, no, we can work this out. But I thought we really are good on our personal level. But she just did something physically that will make it hard for me. I wanted to introduce her to my family. My family has a very deep culture, and I'm a very corporate guy. We go out to a lot of different events. She did a red flag move to mess everything up for that. Well, we were having dinner, and basically, with the culture of dinner, and she has my name tattooed on her neck like Tupac. Like, you know, like how Tupac has his name on his neck.
Yeah.
But when everyone can see it, you know, I see my name. I see stuff.
He said like Tupac. Just so y'all know, some places in the world, they get stuff like 20 years later.
So, right, it was beautiful tattoo, but everyone can see it. She did not understand that I can't go to a corporate event and take it to my family. The only thing I can think to do is just move forward with this. I didn't know to tell her about that. I just finished my little quiet and like this went on.
So look, man, you know, we hear what's going on and what you say you've been going through. What we didn't let you know is the young lady is actually on the phone.
Oh no.
That man said, oh no.
Oh no.
Now, notice how he said young lady, which means that he's significantly older than her. Because he wouldn't have said young lady if, you know, he was the same age.
Hey, baby, hey, listen, look, just listen. I know it's extreme. This is the radio station, but I didn't know what else to do. You wouldn't pick up none of my calls. I mean, I don't really understand. I'm just, you know, let me know.
So basically, he dumped her, he ignored her, he ghosted her, and she is still calling. She got so desperate that she called the radio station and had the radio station call him. This is how they deal with rejection. This is how they deal with rejection when they feel that they have completely submitted. Listen to how she's going. And keep in mind, she's easy on the eyes. So, you know, but she just can't take the fact that he rejected her.
Both do not understand. I do not. I don't know how to love you and you have my name on your body. Like, how are we going to move forward? Like, my friends are going to make me a target.
What kind of target, baby? I just want to let you know that.
Everyone's going to want what's to the bad now because you got to know your body. You're going to make me a target.
I'm not worried about that, baby. Look, listen to me.
I am worried about that.
On my chest is about you. You are a strong African man, and I just want to let you know that I'm yours. I don't really understand what the problem is.
See, she says, I just want to let you know that I'm yours. I don't understand what the problem is. Now, the problem is that you are his. You are his property, and he owns you. And what you did was you marred his property. You damaged his property. That's like saying, this is my car, and I put some rims on it. It's like, well, if okay, so say I have a car, and a chick put rims on it. I'm like, wait a minute, this is my car. I didn't want your rims. You know, they tins, but I keep them real clean. I didn't want you to put them on there. This is my property. You have besmirched his property. So even though she's submitting in her sense of the word, in her definition of the word, even though she is submitting in that way, she feels that she's being submissive to him the best she can. She's having that real time. She's having that submission rejected right now. Let's listen to her breakdown.
It's a culture thing, baby. You gotta understand my family. When they see, they will never listen to anything you say.
I will work hard on that if I have to for the rest of my life. Please, don't leave me. I don't understand how this is happening to me again. You told me you were gonna be there for me, and now when I show my affection, you're doing the same thing that he did.
I don't know what he did to you. You don't have two names on your neck. You have one name on your neck. Baby, I don't think we're gonna be able to do anything.
He said, I don't know what he did to you. You don't have two names on your neck. You only got one. It was like, if he did the same thing, you'd have a bunch of names on your neck. So apparently she had her submission rejected prior to this.
You know what? That's fine. You know what? I knew you was just like him when I met you. You know what?
See? You was just like him. Watch this.
Nigeria or wherever you're from, you and your family can both suck it. You know what this tattoo is gonna say? It's gonna say Philip.
So is it spelled all out? Because Philip kind of long.
It's only got one L though. He's like, you know, they weird. They only got one L, so it's not that much space.
Let's go ahead and go over.
Okay. Shout out to Pink Book Lessons. That's where I heard the thing. It came up on my feed. So if you wanna listen to her commentary, then go check her out. Okay, so here's the thing. I actually would have just had the tattoo removed because I understand that she didn't know any better. She wants to submit, but she doesn't really know what submission is. She based submission on doing the things that guys that she previously dated wanted her to do. So that's how she measured submission. Like, if she was with a certain guy, he probably would want that. A guy who comes from a less traditional family and a job where something like that isn't frowned upon, it makes sense that she would consider that a ultimate gesture of submitting to that particular guy, just not this one. Were I in his position, and I'm not, I would just say, look, that's not a good look. I know your intentions were good, but it doesn't really work for me. And I've actually had to do something similar. So, and perhaps you know this, Truth, I keep wanting to say my name, I swear, but you probably been in this situation. You ever have a bitch tell you, get her clip pierced and say you couldn't hit it until it healed?
No, I never went through that, but that's crazy.
Yeah. So fuck that. Fuck that. No, you got to get rid of that shit. You know, like it's just one of those things. Now, her intentions were good. Her intentions were good. Her intentions was that this is something that he may like. I'll surprise him with it. This is something that I can use to seduce him or entice him more. I'll just surprise him when I take off the panties and he'll just say, oh, wow, you know, it's so shiny, and, you know, just get excited. But in actuality, it's like, listen, I don't want anything hard down there. I don't want the risk of scratching. Just everything about this is wrong. Get rid of it. That's my reaction. And that should have been his reaction. He took it a little bit far. But in doing that, we were allowed to see what happens, the breakdown that women go through when they have their submission rejected. They avoid that feeling at all costs. Go for it.
I was gonna say, like, she seems like a narcissist too, because like, and it goes back to what I was saying before, where I'm like, I think women are being brainwashed, not even brainwashed, they're being culturally trained in narcissism, and they're associating it with their whole feminine disposition. It's like the idea that her getting a tattoo repulsed him so much should not have surprised her. Like, it should not have come as a surprise. You can, within one conversation with someone, I can probably figure out if they would like be favorable or not of their significant other having a tattoo, let alone 5 months of courtship. So I feel like she didn't ask him if she should do it. She didn't ask his opinion on it. There's no way she had never heard his opinion on tattoos before. And in the same way, and we saw a microcosm of it right there, he was explaining to the host why he is against tattoos and why he didn't like it. She comes on the show, presumably after listening to him discuss with the host, and goes, I don't get it. I don't get it. Make it make sense to me. I don't get it. It's like, how many different ways does he have to explain that it's not for him? Also, why does he have to explain it? Why isn't it I fucked up, I'm so sorry, I'm getting it removed? Why isn't it an immediate like maintenance of that submission if it really was made in good error? And it goes back to what you were saying before. It's faux submission. It's just manipulation. It's not real, because if you were truly submitted to him, you would never have offended him accidentally, because you wouldn't be making decisions without checking for his opinion. Right. And he had experienced 5 months of her, so that nigga said, I'm out.
Well, it's one of two things. She either didn't know any better, and she also didn't come up with the bright idea of having a tattoo removed. Because you're right, that should have been the first thing she said. I don't know why she said turtleneck, but for the rest of my life, you know, especially like his family is in Africa. You walking around Africa with a goddamn turtleneck on, you know, you might as well have a tattoo out. So, you know, no matter what, it's bad. She didn't come up with the brilliant idea of saying I would have it removed.
Facts.
And she did kind of like stick to her guns. Also, there may be something in there that she wanted it for other reasons other than what she felt would please him. You know, like she had the previous boyfriend and that she brought up here, and he probably was like, get my name tattooed on your neck, get my name tattooed on your neck. And she wants to show him on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, like, look, I got this man's name on my neck. You know, like it could be some old bullshit like that, you know.
Yeah.
So, and in fact, now that you mention it, that's probably why she went the turtleneck route as opposed to just getting it removed. Because, you know, she'll put on a turtleneck for the family, but pull it down and for Instagram, like, yeah. So yeah, so now that you mention it, yeah, she probably is beyond reproach. Like she just, yeah.
He got to be looking for a wife. He got to be looking for a wife, because he didn't even keep hitting it and like keep it to the side.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it could be one of two things. Like she wants to submit and she just don't know how, or you know, she's just she's just ghetto trash.
Yeah, she sounded ghetto trash. I mean, the fact that the second she realized, oh, this isn't going to work the way, or maybe even, hey, maybe I should look at this as the beginning of a new day. Like maybe I can convince him I deserve to at least have an open line of communication. Maybe he'll call me after this. No, she's just like, oh, you're not going to listen to me? Because she even yelled it, listen to me. Like she's so controlling while she pretends to be submissive. And then once she realizes, oh, he's not going to listen to me, he's not going to let me manipulate him, I should get tatted. Fuck your neighborhood. Fuck your Africa. Fuck Nigeria. I was like, this bitch is gross. Like, imagine that being the mother of my children. Bitch, I don't trust you with my kids, you psycho motherfucker. Like, what? Yeah. Nah.
The one, I appreciate you. The one always come with the 715. For those of you who don't know, 715 is the amount that you give if you want to give me $5. When you take away the 30% of 715, that is $5. Thanks a lot. 715 is the amount that you want to give if you want to give me $5. I appreciate you, the one. He says, salute, GC. May you experience 10 through 15 years of Tom Brady-ness. Laughing my so I know who Tom Brady is. You know that? I don't watch football. Truth. You know what he means by that?
Oh, Tom Brady.
Well, what do you mean by Tom Brady is here in this context?
I guess he's just saying, like, to you being on top of your game. Tom Brady.
Oh yeah. All right. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Tom Brady's like a GOAT. That nigga is an amazing QB. So.
Okay. Cool. He's like a Michael Jordan or LeBron James type person, huh? Okay.
I wouldn't. Well, white people would say that. I would.
Okay, go for it.
Shit, hello. Good morning.
Oh no, I'm just clicking through. But yeah, shout out to Chantel. Subscribe to her channel if you haven't already. All right. But okay, so yeah, I appreciate it. She says all she need to do was make him a sandwich, not get a tattoo. Yeah. So now I think about it, that tattoo was probably for her benefit, because you're right, she didn't offer to remove it. And maybe that idea didn't come to her, but yeah. Okay. When I heard this situation, I thought of that clip piercing situation that I was in as a younger man. But now I think about it, yeah, she probably had like other designs towards it. And her reaction at the end, was like, I'm going to keep it.
It's really sad because it goes back to what that Nixon guy commented. So much of this is just trauma, man. Like, I know that's how her mama talked to her. I just know that's how her mom's talked to her, and she loves her mom. She doesn't want to look at her mom honestly, and so she's just repeating the same cycle. It's like, why do you want to be a toxic ass motherfucker? Like,
yeah,
it's sad.
Now I will say this, and perhaps I was wrong to say ghetto trash. I will say this, ladies, when you're stepping into a new world, because that's what she's doing. She's stepping into a new world. She's very young. He seems to be accomplished in whatever field he's in. So, learn to lay the land before you move forward.
Yes. Things
that was appealing or submissive to you in your world, which you had no control of. Nobody has control over the world that they were born in. Understand that you are moving into his world. And that's what you want. He's not trying to move into yours. You are trying to move into his world. His world of brunches and shit like that. His world of business meetings and office parties and stuff like that. You are moving into his world. If you are going to do that, know the lay of the land. If you are, listen, if I am going to move into China, I must know the lay of the land. Like, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. When in China, do what the Chinese do. And if I find out that they take their shoes off outside the home and then walk in, then that's what you do. You don't just walk in with your muddy boots on and then explain that this is a sign of respect because I took my hat off. They're not having that. They're not. So just learn the lay of the land, before you move forward. Don't make any brazen actions that you think is okay and it's not okay. You are moving into his world.
Facts.
You know, so yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But yeah, a lot of what we're experiencing in the gender war and the reluctance to submit is a fear of having that submission rejected.
Facts. Yep.
You know, and
I think again, I think it goes back to like the toxic first learned behavior coming from the mother, where so much of this feminism coming from white culture bleeding into Black society. And then it was already in my house. Like me as a kid, when I was growing up, feminism was in my house. And my mother wasn't even college educated. And now my sister is, and she took a gender studies course, which is just feminism. It's like they're getting it at home from their mothers, from learned behavior. They're getting it culturally from their circle of female friends. They're getting it reinforced on the internet. And then they're getting it at the fucking university.
And they're getting it through the idiot box. Let's not forget that.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And so it's like this feminism is basically not to get biblical because people can study like Greek mythology and not believe in Zeus. And so even looking at Christianity or it's just like a mythological, metaphorical story that is a good way to examine human behavior. And I always like the idea of like Eve versus Lilith, because Eve is made of the man's rib, so she feels like she's lesser than man and she relates to man. Lilith is made the same as man, not of his rib, and so she refuses to submit. She thinks she's equal to him, even though she's obviously not. And more so than that, she wants to be equal, because it's really pernicious. A good example is like, I would never try to be LeBron James. I would never hang out with LeBron James and act like I'm LeBron James. But that doesn't mean I take who I am away from me. I'm not going to look in the mirror and go, I'm not LeBron James. Like, I can love me. I don't need to. I can see where he's greater than me. I can see what he has above me. I can see what I might have above him. And like, even if I met someone who's 100% better than me in every way and I can't compete, that would not take my intrinsic value away from myself. And so I would feel no way about that. Where I feel like a lot of times women get like what Freud called penis envy, where they're interacting with men and they want to, even how they relate to submission, and they phrase submission as a negative or like it's a weakness. It's like they reject their role. They literally look at their role as if something is toxic or bad about it. When in truth, it's like, that's just your perception. If that's how you feel, sure. But ask Eve if she's winning. Right? Like, this nigga will die for her. This nigga is killing himself to support her life. This nigga is doing.
We say Nagaga. To beat the algorithm, we say Nagaga.
Magaga?
Nagaga.
Magaga. What's that?
That's the N word without the algorithm picking it up.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? He's out there. He'll die for her. He's killing himself to support her. He's mastering himself to become what the family requires of him. And all he's asking is for someone who loves him unconditionally and supports him in everything he does, which he knows doesn't even exist. That's the other thing. But at least be that for my children, right? And then she's supposed to revere and respect him. And instead what you find is women who come from women who may have very honestly been wronged. Like, I feel like a big part of this conversation is like, my sister's been raped and molested. Almost every single girlfriend I've ever had has confessed to me at one point or another she was raped or molested. So many girls I talked to have been raped or molested. And in fact, my ex-fiance, she thought she had never been raped. We had like a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy because I know a lot about psychology and I was working with her. And working through her memories, I was like, your uncle molested you. Like, you just told me a story of you sitting on his lap when he had a hard, right? And you're like a little girl and he's putting you on his lap on purpose. And she's like getting her mind blown, realizing at 3 years old, I was being molested by my uncle. And then fast forward, some girl in the neighborhood, a lesbian girl, was playing with her and she was like diddling with her. And she was like 8 and the girl was 16. And she had blocked that out. And so it's like, I guarantee the same thing is true for her mother, her mother's mother, her mother's mother's mother. Like, there's a lineage of females being abused. Like, it's not all made up. They are definitely vulnerable. And if they don't have allies, no one cares. And they just have to be victims. And so they created this narrative where it's like, we are victims. Men hate us. Men abuse us. Toxic femininity, And there's some truth in there. There is a little bit of truth in there. But instead of taking the accountability, instead of taking the actual right approach, the approach just becomes hate and bitterness and sadness and fear and all these, you know, psychological coping mechanisms that really create narcissism. And so I think part of the problem is a lot of women don't trust men, and they don't trust themselves, and they don't know how to feel vulnerable, and they're really damaged, and they need to go get some fucking therapy. And
Well,
they
okay.
should know
I see what you're saying. So the rape and molestation thing, though it exists, I think that it's exaggerated as a method to create the fear monger. Is more propaganda. You know, I do believe that it exists, but once again, I think it is exaggerated. You know, I'm not going to speak to your fiance situation, but not every time your uncle asks you to sit on his lap, it's sexual. In fact,
I'm not even saying
no. Trust me, I'm not speaking on your fiance situation. I'm not. But you know, Santa Claus, chances are, you know, he's not.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because it's like there are really
we don't know, and it creates such propaganda. So, but let's not assume an extreme on either end. Renaissance chick, I want to address you because you're asking this question over and over again, and I don't know why. And this isn't me trying to attack you. What it seems like you're doing is you're trying to muddle, you're trying to blur the definition of submission so it doesn't mean anything. No one is submissive and everyone is submissive at the same time, because you know there are so many different definitions of submission. Now, women do that to both. Women often do this so they can not be submissive, and they can also claim that they are at the same time, depending on how the definition of the word submit is. So if you're trying to do that, it won't get you very far here. You know, when you're submissive to a man, you know, basically, if you're willing to do something that you don't necessarily want to do in order because he asked you to do it, i.e. get him a sandwich. I mean, if you're doing that, then you are submitting to him. That act is done not out of submission, but not out of individual desire, but out of submission to him, out of deference to his authority over you. So that's all. And I didn't say, Renaissance chick, I didn't say that you had a problem with submission. What I'm saying is that you are speaking in the way that women who do have that problem speaks. Mm-hmm. See, I don't know you, so it could be either way. You know, I'm not going to treat you like you are.
Plus,
huh?
She got to have a problem with submission. I guarantee many niggas have said they don't like that. She don't submit.
No, it's true. It's true. And that's another thing. And that's why I say on this channel, and I know you're new here, fat women can't be submissive, because you know that men have a problem with it and you still are fat. So you're submitting to your desire to eat over what
nails. But that's
no, you're talking about nails, but that's something that's easily changeable, you know, which but and more men have a problem with fat than nails. But but just the fact that you're fat means that you're not submissive. You know that men desire a certain thing, and you not working to be that thing shows that you're not submissive. So yeah. Now back to the Lilith thing. And I really gotta go because appointment. But back to the Lilith thing. Lilith, right? She was made from dirt, same as Adam. Therefore, she felt equal to Adam, as opposed to Eve, who was made from his rib, his side. Now, Lilith also had children by a archangel. I forget his name, maybe Gabriel or something like that. Yeah. And their descendants became, the females were succubi and the men were incubi. They allowed it to happen. And then, you know, as the myth and legend goes on, these descendants been known by different names: witches, warlocks, etc., etc., etc. And now they are known as feminists. and simps. And I say that to say this.
That's hella deep.
Yeah, I say that to say this. Some women are descendants of Lilith, and others are descendants of Eve. Now, the descendants of Lilith are likely to be feminists. What's going on? And I don't mind them for being what they are. You descended from a bitch, the first bitch. So you have that DNA inside you. I don't fault them for being who they are. But we must push back, because what they are doing is they're influencing the daughters of Eve. Let's take modern movies, for example, right? In modern Black movies, you always show a submissive woman, and she doesn't have her submission appreciated. In fact, she has it harshly rejected. Angela Bassett, Waiting to Exhale. You know, she played the quote unquote submissive housewife and mother, and some guy just walks in and says, "I'm leaving you for a white girl." You know, Celie from Color Purple, she was submissive. You know, she wasn't the best looking, but she was submissive. She was this, and this, and he beat the crap out of her. He had 3 basic slaps and 2 additional slaps that extended from the base slaps that he gave her regularly. You know, so she was punished for her submission. See, women have a fear of having their submission rejected, and that fear is perpetuated. It's being played upon in the media. And that's why a lot of these women are like that. It's not because they descended from Lilith. It's because these Alice Walker type descended from Lilith bitches are getting into their head and saying that if you submit, you're going to get your ass beat, or you're going to get left for a white woman if you submit. That is how they are playing on their emotions. They understand that fear of submission, you know, exists. And they are using that against Black women. So now they come off like too combative. Like, I'm not going to submit fully, because the moment I do, you're going to leave me for Becky or something exotic or something light-skinned, you know. So, yeah. You're muted.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. No, that was on point. That was super on point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, but they're gonna play on that. So a lot of what Jessica, a lot of the pushback that Jessica was receiving earlier this morning was just fellas tired of hearing that particular excuse. Now, even though, just like what's this Renaissance chick, it probably wasn't even meant that way. In fact, it likely wasn't. But even though that's the case, you know, they hear it and like, oh, you're looking for an excuse not to submit.
I actually kind of wanted to touch on that. I'm glad you brought it back to that. Because she was like, oh, I can't go around submitting to every guy I meet, because that means he's going to say, let's have sex. And I go, okay. That's kind of why I brought up the whole submission to a philosophy thing. And I got a little too long-winded in it. What I was really trying to say is, for example, you can submit to femininity. That's an idea. That's like an ethic. Likewise, you could submit to polite behavior in society. So I'm not submissive, right? But if I see someone walking towards me and I'm ahead of them, I hold the door, right? I don't have to do that. They're not even asking me to. And you could theoretically use the definition of submission to like semantically argue that is submissive. But that's not how people use submission. Don't go out of your way to be an attorney, because women do that shit all the time. They love to put on their suit and act like a fucking lawyer and argue semantics. When people use the term submission in the context of a dynamic between a man and a woman, and they're saying that a woman should always be submissive, it's implied that it's a relationship. And I heard her act like, oh, that's obvious. It's like, exactly, it is obvious. Why would you think we're suggesting be submissive to strangers? What we're saying is, you should be a submissive individual in general. Like, your natural disposition should be one of a submissive nature. You should have a problem resisting the demands of others. You should have had to build up something that helps you deal with that, because you are so naturally submissive, right? You should lean on your relationship with other authoritative figures in your life and submit to them instead of feeling so independent, because that is the narrative now, right? I'm an independent person. I don't need nobody. That's not how niggas operate, right? I peep for those greater than me and points better than mine. I peep for logic that makes more sense, right? I'm definitely submitting to things all the time. I'm submitting to things greater than me, right? But I'm not submissive. So when we're saying women should be submissive, take all the esoteric, like how many different ways can I make it not true? Look at how it is true. We're saying you should choose, and it's your choice, by the way. I keep hearing this. Oh, that's how we keep choosing the wrong guys. Man, shut the fuck. Which is it? Like, which is it? Do you have any accountability or none? Just choose. Because which is it? Because it's like, if you choose the wrong guy, you made a bad decision. I don't want to hear anything past that. I don't know why you think anything past that matters. And they'll start going, oh, well, we adopt these methods so we don't choose worse men. What the fuck are you? You need to get discernment. And you're probably lying. You're a capper. These bitches will be fat, out of shape, broke. Nobody wants them. Choosing men. You ain't choosing nothing, nigga. You know who makes choices? People with options. You don't have options. You're not choosing. So I don't want to hear that you choose the wrong men. That's disgusting. It's offensive. You're offending people out here winning while you lose and you're like complaining. It's like last place isn't supposed to be glorious. You're not supposed to be happy when life sucks. How fucking microwave generation can we be where you're literally waking up every day feeling like a loser, mad because the guys in your life suck? You sound like the incels. You sound like the fucking incels. It's like, okay, you want a winner nigga? Go figure out what winner niggas like and stop thinking what you like matters. Because definitely understand when niggas was teenagers, we had to learn the world don't give a fuck what we want. I didn't get to say, oh, here's what I want to be. Here's what the world needs from you. Here's what you must be. And so it's like, that's the role of men, right? I'll keep it 1,000. I'll embarrass I'm a lover boy. I'm cheesy. I'm really emotional. Bitches don't like that. They love to cap though. They'll tell a nigga, oh,
easy on the swears, bro.
You feel me? Be emotional with me. Let me know your feelings. I did that with females. They judged me. They looked down on me. They thought I was weaker. And they would never admit it to me because they pitied me. And so it's just like, there's what people say, but then there's what they actually want. And people are not lining up what they want with what they do, right? And so it's like when I hear Jessica say, oh, I can't just submit to anyone because any nigga will say he wants to fuck it. Right? It's like you're capping. You're going past the point. You need to become your best self. And then as your best self, you will have the best options you will ever get. And then from those options, submit to the one that you really like. Full stop. It's that simple. Stop making it this long discussion about what submission means. And then just to pin it, what submission does mean for anyone like seriously not getting it is it's like, if I'm on a basketball team, a football team, if I'm in the military, if I'm a fucking Navy SEAL, there's always someone above me. It doesn't mean he's better than me. It doesn't mean he has more value than me. It doesn't mean that I should feel like less of a person. It means he's in charge. It means I do what he says. It means even if I have a disagreement, I got to go behind the scenes and have a discussion because I defer to his authority, right? I'm not going to tell my CEO, I don't like that idea. I'm not going to tell my sergeant, I don't like that idea. Like, that is preposterous. Likewise, it doesn't mean you might stay with that company. You might go, you know, this company is dumb and I'm not going to like argue with the CEO. I'm just going to get a new fucking job, right? Or likewise in a relationship, oh, you know, this leader sucks. So instead of arguing with him, I'm going to find one I don't have to argue with. I'm going to find one who's in the right position, making the right decisions. And that's where this partnership comes from. It's bullshit. Oh, I want 50-50. No, you want a dick. It's penis envy. And you want to bluff because if I ask a chick, what do you want to eat? She's going to say, I don't know. So it's like, even when Kevin asks them, do you want to be responsible for the bills and what percentage? They'll say 20% or less. So you just want to pretend you're contributing. You just want the ego. You want the ego. And this man, y'all got no chill. Hey, I'll take the L. Fuck it, L. He's a winner. Anyway, I hate these things. I hate these nibbles. I hate these nibbles. Anyway.
No, nagagas. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like, that's going to crack me the fuck up. I can't even look at my computer. But, no, but seriously, it's like, females need, and again, I don't even blame them for it because our whole generation lacks masculinity. And a lot of the things I'm saying are things your father is supposed to teach you. These are things I had to learn on my own. I know a lot of young men had to figure a lot of shit out on our own. And it's because there's been a lack of strong fathers in our society. That's another conversation as to why. But there has been that. And so the effect of that is we're over feminine. We're crybabies, we whine. I know a lot of young niggas, we used to love to whine. Oh, bitches ain't shit. Bitches ain't shit. It's like, yeah, now what? Like, right? Like, you got to be a man about life. But we were too much like our mothers, and women don't even respect us. And we're checking for women to tell us what to be. I've noticed it. Men are like, tell me what you want from me. It's like, not that, bro. Not that. You can't be checking for her opinion. You can't care what she thinks of what a man is supposed to be. You're just supposed to fulfill what you recognize a man's role is based off your ability to discern the world around you. She's checking for your leadership, even if she doesn't know it. It's like a little child who thinks they should be in charge, and they're like, I want to lead the show. You don't let them. And so it's different because it's a relationship basis. And so men need to find women who understand their role and do their best to help the community and educate. And likewise, women should do the best, right? They should try to educate fellow women on what it means to be feminine and to submit. And that submission doesn't mean you're fucking every guy you talk to, but rather that you respect male leadership. You look for authority figures to guide you in life, and that you know you don't have all the answers. So you look for people who have some of the answers, right? Like, no one man's going to have all the answers, but there will be different sources of wisdom. And ultimately, the person you settle down with is the one you're deciding that his wisdom makes the most sense to you. It's not so much about love. It's not so much about, some fantasy in your head, because your fantasy is based off of a wrong perception. You've been raised in a childhood, every stage of your life was just delusion and incorrect thinking. And so your dreams are based off of that foundation. You need to wipe it all clean, start totally fresh, you know what I'm saying? And rebuild your concept of what it means to be a woman, to be a man, to be with a man, and what that dream life is. Because that will probably reshape your concept of what love even is. Because it's not that it's not about love. It's more so that your idea of love probably isn't healthy anyway. Yeah, I went on a whole rant.
No, but it was a good rant. It was a very good rant. And yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. A lot of it is trying to, first of all, it really, a lot of women use it to make a discussion. And next thing it's really a justification, like, it's everything or nothing. That's what they're trying to say. Submit. They try to make it seem like, well, you can't submit to everybody, so should you submit to anybody? Like, it's really like an all or nothing that they just kind of throw out there in the ether. Like, they want to get you to first say, oh no, a woman shouldn't submit to everybody. And then from there, they can, maneuver to say, okay, so, are there any men worthy of submission, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's when, the bullshit happens. You're muted.
Of course they are. Also, I hate the idea that like I feel like women are so, and this might even be true, but I feel like women are so scared of their lack of ability to discern someone's character that they're scared in investing in a man before he's already become high earning, right? Like and I think the truth is because they don't want a boring life. They don't want to just, because they know what they're supposed to look for. They're supposed to look for a dude with morals, ethics, who loves his family, who doesn't let people push him around, who's not a doormat, who understands his place in society and tries to help out without letting people steer him and take control of him, and who has the character of someone who will one day be successful. But instead, what they look for is someone who makes them feel comfortable. So it's either going to be a fuckboy who tells them whatever they want to hear. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, and Kevin's so on point with this, he'll be like, you met the one already and fucked it up. I've been the one for hella chicks and they fucked it up and they will even tell you with their own mouth, I've never had a man hold me accountable before. I've never had a man force me to be, I heard a chick say to me once, I can't even be mean to you. What the fuck? Why you want to be mean to me? What kind of, and so
she wants to test you.
The niggas makes them submit. You think you're cute. It's like, I think you're gross. You think that I took all this energy to get you to recognize your role makes me want to marry you? It makes me want to pump and dump and find a chick who gets it on day one. So what these chicks don't understand is they're looking for the nigga who's going to make them submit. That
dude, you got to be easy on the N word.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I'm so sorry. And I need to get all the ghetto language out in general. So women will claim to want a man of a certain type, but their behavior makes it so once they have that guy, he might even educate them a little bit before he ghosts them. And like, you're not going to get that guy to stick around because you're being hypocritical in the relationship. What you're expecting from him is to master himself. But then you want him to be okay with the fact that you have not mastered yourself. It doesn't make sense. You're starting at unequal. You're looking at him and admiring him because without you, he became what he needed to be. But then you want him to be patient with you. Because you aren't patient. Like I said, you look for what's comfortable. You don't look for the man with the good character, right? You are disgusted by him. You tell younger women to avoid him. You propagate, like, women are creating this culture of like hyper masculinity and toxic masculinity, and like that song by even Snoop Dogg had the song bees ain't shit but, you know, hoes and trick. It's like, and there's a modern version of that. That song comes out every fucking year and women love that song. Now they make their own version of it. You know, Cardi B with WAP. It's like females are proponents of their own feminine culture. They're cultivating a toxic culture that is antithetical to submitting to a strong male. And so it's like, if you want a man to be patient with your lack of femininity, you better get comfortable with getting a dude who's on the way up. If you want a dude who's already there, you got to be already there. Because he's not about to say, oh yeah, I'm already here, but I'll wait for you to catch up. Hell no. You're going to be a pump and dump. You're going to be a PhD. Pump, hump, dump. Okay?
Well, I mean, and furthermore, we really don't know whether a guy's already there or not, because even it's a mindset, just like femininity is. It's a mindset. And even though he hasn't made it there, you know, financially, you know, he is of the mindset to become successful. Yeah, be careful with that. You know, he is of the mindset to become successful. And therefore, you know, because he's already of that mindset, he wants you to at least be in that mindset. You know. And now it is a lot easier for a woman to become feminine than it is for a man to become wealthy, you know. So the fact that not many are doing it really, really means something. And first of all, and I want to make this clear, femininity or submission is not simply a reward for a man's financial success. It's not. It's not. Beauty may be, granted, I give you that, but not submission. You know, I don't care if a dude, you know, a garbage man should be able to come home. And this isn't a shot at garbage man, you know. He should be able to come home to a sandwich. Now, he may not be able to come home to a sandwich from a supermodel, but he should be able to come home to a sandwich. Like, you know, he is doing his masculine duty. Mm-hmm. You know, but for a woman to, and that's why we get so many women on Kevin's show who say stuff like, oh, I'm submissive to a man who's worthy, and I feel that a man who's worthy makes 6 figures, even though, you know, I look like, you know, the headbutt queen, you know. I should get that, you know. Yeah, like it doesn't work that way. You know, once they start setting criteria of submission, then they could just put anything there. It's kind of like if a kid picked his own parents. Like, oh yeah, I'm a good kid, but to certain parents, you know, it doesn't work that way. Because then you're going to only submit to those, or you're only going to be the proper child for the or claim to be for the ones who, you know, let you eat Cinnabon for dinner, you know, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and let you get away with everything, let you play all night, you know, like don't make you eat your vegetables, like the same way. Well, I don't want to say this, but I said it before on Bernard's stream, and that is picking the person. And that's why so many cultures had it to where the father picked the husband, or he had significant say-so in who the woman picked as a husband, you know. And the reason for that is she's never in a complete dominant position. Determining who you submit to puts you in a completely dominant submission position. Once you get used to that, you don't want to leave it. That's why so many women remain single for so long, and they don't leave because they don't want to leave that completely dominant submission. You see, we call it the cock carousel. It's not the cock carousel. I mean, you know, there isn't anything biological in a woman that makes her just want to take a bunch of dick from a bunch of guys, except that she enjoys being the chooser. She enjoys sitting up, swiping on Tinder, determining who's worthy of this. There's no rejection involved in that.
Yeah.
You know, there's no submission. You know, they're all just vying for your, you know, pseudo submission, because that's what sex, you know, is. It's the feeling of dominance, and dominance for the man and submission for the woman. But, you know, or at least that's an aspect of it. But it's not actual permanent, and it's not actually standing, you know, because you're doing something that you both want to do. So yeah, hold on one moment. Plausible deniability, soul direction. Oh crap. Let me get the super chat. All right. The Rex says, greeting GC. In truth, do you guys feel that women use the masculinity test as an excuse due to their fear of good quality men? Well, I think that, and somebody else said this yesterday. I think that there's a comfort in having a man that'll never tell them about themselves. You see, Miss Neck Tattoo, this was a man who told her about herself, and she didn't like that. She felt like a ghetto hood rat. You know, she'll never feel like that with a man who doesn't really pass the masculinity test. Because, you know, a man, you know, especially one who has game, will constantly tell a woman what she wants to hear. This is what I want to hear to get in them draws. He's going to constantly say that, and she's going to get addicted to the feeling of never being wrong, never being challenged. She's the smart one. She's the beautiful one. She's the this, and she's the queen, literally. She's the goddess, literally. You know, they will actually call her that. She's used to that feeling. She's not used to saying, you know, she's not used to coming across somebody that says, hey, you look like a piece of trash with a neck tattoo. Why did you get that? I didn't tell you to get that. She's not used to hearing that. You know, a lot of these chicks aren't used to hearing that. They're used to hearing what they want to hear as opposed to what they need to know. And that is why, and that's what they really have a fear of. You know, see, they have a fear. See, they're like these kids. They're like these freaking millennials and zillennials, little bastards that never won a soccer game or never lost a soccer game. See, y'all never lost a soccer game. So y'all not used to being called a loser. I am. In T-ball, we was like what, 12-1 one season. We came back to we 7-0 the next season, but one season was like 12-0. Somebody called us a loser. We were losers. We were the losing team. You know, that it happens. It's part of growing up. But you get somebody who's never been told that they was wrong and everything they do was right. And that is the narcissism that Truth was talking about, you know, like, and they're used to it. You can't tell somebody, it's very hard sell to tell somebody like that you are not as perfect as you believe. You know, it almost causes a psychotic episode, which is what Miss Neck Tattoo kind of was going through. Mm-hmm. She kind of was going through like a psychotic episode. Like, you're just like the last one. It's like, no, somebody's going to say like, listen, you're not perfect. There are some areas of improvement. And that's another reason why it's hard to tell these fat bitches that they fat.
Facts. Yeah, that shit is so sad, man. Oh my good God.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right, let me go to Brother Pete. I appreciate you, brother. It says at the RX 0. Okay, talking to somebody to the chat, but I'll read it. Yes, they don't want to level up to be worthy of provisions and protections. Rather, they want men to level down to their basic emotional, spiritual, aesthetic benchmarks. It's a scam. Well, okay. So the level up is one of those things that sounds good in theory. But the way it's practiced, at least online through people like Shira7, is that they're leveling up for temporary gain. They don't have long-term designs in their level up in this. They don't. You know, it's more of a, okay, I want to level up to get the temporary bag. Because fellas, know this, a bag is a trophy. It's not a matter of the cheap shit that they get. It's not a matter of food that they can afford themselves. It's a matter of, this is my way. It's a measuring tool, is what it is. It's the way that they measure nanas against each other. Because they can't, they can't F each other and determine how good their pussy is. So they use the bag test. My pussy is this good because I got this much of a bag. My pussy is this good because he bought me this. My pussy is this good because he bought me this. That is what they are using it for. And that's why they are out trying to seduce men for trinkets. None of y'all got a ring. Say my pussy is this good because I have a ring. And I have a guy that's willing to dump garbage every day to support me. Say it's good for that.
Yeah.
Stupid tramp. So, but instead they go out, to wealthy guys, to six-figure dudes asking for trinkets. And how are you gonna have long-term design and you lying about having kids? He's gonna find out eventually that you lied. Eventually your wig is going to come off. You're not actually leveling up. You're just demanding more. You're just demanding more, but offering the same thing, just disguised up with more makeup. I don't think, Katie, I don't think that arranged marriages would work, because in the Black community, especially, because the mamas is fucked up too. And there's no daddy. So who's going to arrange it?
Facts.
Who's going to arrange it? Some 40-year-old tramp who's trying to get the same dick that she's trying to get her daughter? How's she going to find penis for her daughter and she haven't found one for herself?
Facts.
Who's going to arrange it? There's nobody to arrange it. Now, would I allow Big Mama would I allow my grandma to have picked a bride for me at a young age? And the answer is yes. I trust my grandma in that way. I do not trust my mama that way, because my mom's a boomer. But I trust my grandma that way. Because truth be told, as a younger man, there are qualities that I overlooked that I should have been looking for in a woman that grandma would not have.
Yeah. Now the arranged concept is actually really interesting, because it's like sometimes I'd be thinking about it, like I do think it's a little outdated for the modern world. We have the internet, we have so much knowledge, we just got to self-actualize and make the right decisions. But as a cultural tradition, if I knew of a family who had a daughter I really approved of, could I just be like, hey son, go marry her? I don't know. That's crazy.
Somebody say your chick's in the background. Yeah.
Yes,
I think you have 3 of them, right? Because you're in a polygamous situation.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. All right. So what was I saying? I don't know. I gotta close down though, because I got this thing I gotta do. But you have any final thoughts?
No, thanks for having me on. That shit was very enlightening. You dropped jewels, a lot of jewels.
Oh yeah, well you were on here before, but you're always welcome to come back, man.
Oh, I love coming out. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to start doing this shit. Y'all having too much fun out here. I like this. This is fun.
Hey, it beats the COVID, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that being said, let me check. I'd like to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats. I'd like to thank the managers and moderators. I'd like to thank those who participated in the chat and those who are listening silently. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out and know that movie night is tomorrow. Oh yeah, you come through to that too. Movie night is tomorrow, and we're featuring Baby Boy. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, Zone put the link to Mr. Fantastic's channel, so go ahead and check him out and subscribe if you haven't already. This is GameChanger00100. Game over. Peace.
Later, y'all.